everyone, we are here on Jiteki.net playing Chronos Protocol, and we're up against Kate today. And this hand is actually okay, not much in the way of money, but I mean we have some of the tools we want. Ghoda Real TV will give us insight into their deck and will help us snipe off key pieces, and that's basically what this deck is all about. It's just trying to keep the runner honest, snipe some bits and pieces that they might want, and yeah, run amok like that. We are running the Grail suite, as you can see. So I think we're just going to ice up that, throw this down anew, and take a credit. So a nice simple turn, and we'll see how brave they are, willing to face check things and all that jazz. So they're already over memory, which they seem to have just realised. That's grand. So we know they have SMC, and we know they want it. So if we can get a chance to fire it and fire some damage, we can take that out, which is quite nice. So we're going to flip that, do our start turn, and then check out what's on top of their deck. Getting a bit of lag here, but there we go. So on top we see Cloak. So we know they're going Stealth Breaker Suite, which is good to know. Now, at some point we can decide whether or not we want to trash this during our turn to destroy that. I think we'll draw, stick out a pad in a new remote. Philotic is not a good early draw. It'd be almost tempting to put it on the table and leave it there, but I'm not entirely sure. Now we could burn this just to get rid of a cloak. I mean, they're going to get it back at some point, SMC and all that kind of jazz, but it might be worth slowing them down. Don't really want to lose the Philotic, so I think I'm just going to gain a credit. We'll trash this to trash the cloak, and end our turn. So stealth rigs want to have as much of the stealth pieces as possible, so if you can hit one, you know, it puts you in a slightly better position, I think. And we'll see if we can slow them down a bit. Slow them down sufficiently anyway to be able to power ourselves out. Film Critic, not a great thing for us to see, but we'll play around it. We got our pad online, so they're not running anything, which is good. We might be able to sneak a Philotic out. Let's draw and see how things look. I think it's worth doing that. And then maybe Caprice on R&D. Maybe Batty on R&D. Although it's only a Galahad there at the moment, so maybe not. Maybe a Snare. And we can install, oops, misclick. We can install over that with a Jackson later if they're not running anything. God, my right trigger finger has gone nuts today. So SMC onto Magnum Opus, that's pretty solid. Hopefully we don't get vamped. And they're going to draw themselves out anyway. So with a deck like this, you're almost expecting to see something like Astrolabe just for that added draw. But it'll be interesting to see what they break out. So we have Philotic and Snare on deck. Let's see what we draw into. All the New Worlds coming out, which is pretty nice. If we draw first, then we can stick down Galahad and Caprice maybe. So draw, we hit a House of Knives, which is pretty nice. And now may be a good time to go for it. I was listening to a podcast recently, and it was basically, our thing is going to get better for me, and if not, then sometimes it's worth the risk. Now obviously it'd be preferable to have something like Batty or Caprice down with it, but can't win it all. So they're going to be able to power through their deck, possibly find the answers here. All the Hyperdrivers coming out really, really early. No, they're just content to draw, it seems. And of course, as we said, if they do steal stuff, Philotic becomes better. So, you know, not all bad. So we draw into interns. I'm not entirely sure whether I like this or not, but we have it for the moment. Um, I don't even know if it's worth keeping at the moment. We're going to fire it away and see. I'm actually looking a data pack ahead as well. So this deck I think will stay good, but I think, now if I can remember the card that's in it, it's the NBN one where you get to look at their hand and trash any copies of a card. I think that'll be really good. Again, it brings that whole control element to it. It gives me more insight, and with Chronos Protocol as well, you'll get to see what's in their hand and then you can name it. Our intention isn't to kill. We do have kill pieces, obviously, like Snare, New Orleans P. That's more if they get clumsy, but basically we're just looking at that control element. So, Maya comes down, which should be interesting. They've used all their Hyperdrivers, still not running. Starting to get some bits and pieces set up. Gordian Blade is interesting. May not have expected that. Jackson. So we can put the pressure on here, which might be worth doing, I think. Install there. Although we meant to install over the snare, didn't we? Yes, we did. Draw two, and we get a pad and a hedge fund, both of which are desirable. And we also want to get like Caprice down or something as well. I think we go for hedge for the moment. And we'll pitch. I'm reluctant to leave anything behind, but unfortunately we have to. I think we go with Batty, just for the moment. It'll definitely be a target that we want to shuffle back in. Batty, Real TV, and Hedge Fund would be good ones to get back. My opponent is taking their time. They obviously have a monstrous deck for late in the game, so hopefully we don't let it get to that point. Future Perfect, not the card we want to see. So we'll draw two, and it doesn't get any better. Fetal also not great. So I think we go with Yagura on R&D and stick out the pad. To give you an idea of the agenda makeup as well, we are running 3 Niseis, a couple of House of Knives, the Fetal, just because of the damage control that we can get. And we're getting a lot of lag, which is not fun for any of us. So that goes down. And I think we pitch the Fetal for the moment. So Maya indicates that my opponent either has plans for R&D or just likes the added memory. With what we're seeing so far, memory seems to be the trick. Dagger comes out, which is not great for us. I will admit that. But at least Lancelot will take 1 stealth and then a couple of credits. Credits are not an issue, of course, but hopefully we can tax them enough. And if we can get Batty back out, then everything becomes less of an issue. So we are going to flip this, and they do not have a barrier breaker at the moment. So this is delightful for us. They continue the run. We are going to flip this, and we're going to show something that they would not have wanted. So we're going to get to fire Merlin as well. which is nice for us. We'll get to control one of these, and the other will be blind fire, but that's okay by us. Now, Neural is just made a run as well. It doesn't have to be successful, which is quite nice. We'll be able to hit one on our next turn as well. So we're looking at 3 damage here, 2 of which we'll be able to control. And just waiting on my opponent. I don't know if they really expected this. Oh, whoops. I missed employee strike being played. Quite a long time ago. So, we'll be firing this. I'll fire you, Ghoda, twice. It's nice when you have something on installed that you can do damage from. But unfortunately, we're not going to get to do what we wanted to do. Or they're invulnerable to everything. This is really weird. Yeah, so I don't have any control there, so we'll go with 2 and 4. And it's kind of an honor system here as well. I have no idea if there'll be anything that I need. I hit a levy, so guess I have to be happy about that. But that is not ideal, I will say that much. So we'll res our other pad anyway and move on with things. We'd like to get our other agenda scored. Maybe we should do Philotic now, but maybe not. Let's do this on HQ and just take a credit, and we'll get rid of this. And I think we have to shuffle back because they have the 7 credits, and the last thing I want is for them to get access to everything. No, we'll leave it. We'll chance it. Could really regret it, of course, as well. Clone chip coming out. So we're looking at SMC, Cloak, Clot if necessary. Going for the pad, taking down the economic lead that I could possibly get. Magnum Ops on board, they can afford to do this quite a bit. So, draw, hedge, caprice. Data mine's nice. It's a funny one because it is one that they won't be able to avoid, which is absolutely perfect by me. And I think we need to get a move on now as well. Just push for something. We need to push for a score so we can get our ability back on board. Because otherwise, things become problematic. Kind of losing that whole element of control that we're going for. So it might nearly be worth taking, well, there's Corroder, so now we are left with very few choices. We have Assassins in the deck, I think. No major need for it, but it's there. So, what do we do here? We have 3 Niseis to come. A couple of house of knives. Show. I think we hopefully draw that exact card. So sometimes you just have to go for it, I think. Put a data mine in front just to annoy more than anything. Put that back, and batty back. And we'll install in server 5. Advance it the once and put a data mine on top of it as well. Now unfortunately we're not getting the control that we would have liked. Do we flip this in case of councilman? No. Just taking loads of money. So building for late game. But how long can you really build for is the question. There we go. We get another caprice, or another Nisa I should say. So we can just start chaining these out really. If the lag doesn't kill me first. What? Okay, so this is the whole clicking too quickly. I didn't think I was clicking particularly fast, but there you go. Apparently I have to move glacially today. For whatever reason. I may have to speed this video up 1.5 or something. There goes employee strike, which is quite nice. So now we can start using House of Knives tokens. Yagura becomes more of a threat. The Merlins in hand become a threat again. So this is very, very good for us. So if we can get to 10 credits, we have enough to res over here and play some Psy. Is it the way to go? So we'll res, we'll be on 7. Play some Psy, we have the token. I think it might be worthwhile. They might be a bit nervy as to what you're going to see. 3 neurals as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, I think we'll jam it and we'll take a credit. We'll try and turn the screw a little bit. Now we've seen political operative. Are they dueling that with councilman as well? That is the big question for us. Nope, employee strike. Well, that's kind of annoying, but I mean, not the worst thing in the world. It's annoying that we'll use our data mine on something like this that's kind of blind fire, but 1 damage is 1 damage sometimes. And if nothing else, it gets us closer to neural EMPing them. Anything in the bin that they could do about this? It does not look like it. I always like to check. Okay, perfect. So we do 1 net damage. Unfortunately, we don't get to pick a target. Still not working. Or did it work? Okay. So that's self-modifying code gone, which they probably didn't care about. You know, I could use another token here. Knock out a card, and the kill could potentially be on. So let's do that. Now we'll need 6 credits. So we can afford to spend 1 here because we're getting pad back. But they may not expect us to spend 0. So let's do that. Whew. So they can afford to go again, but we can also House of Knives them again. There you go. So we are going to get another Caprice off. Or nothing to say off, sorry. Doi. And I'm nearly tempted to throw away data mine because it's just not working out for us. 3 neurals is possibly a little too much. Let's go data mine. So now it's no longer about money, and in fact actually we have this on the board, and suddenly that's going to work out perfectly well for us. I almost forgot about that myself. So, oh, we can just do this. Oh, sweet. We have to pick something. Let's go with Escher. So, Employee Strike really messes with Chronos Protocol, it seems. So let him spend the 3, and then we'll token him. And then we'll score out for the win. So now, that's not quite how this deck is supposed to work. You are supposed to be able to chip away a bit more with targeted damage, but this is the kind of general makeup. You know, you've got your Grail Ice to do bits of damage and to keep them out. You got your Caprice Batty, Neural EMPs, Data Mine just for the bit of fun, and Ghoda Real TV. So you saw the bits and pieces of it. Now it's just about putting it all together. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you again very soon with another game.